What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I am still Chris 183. And Steve, this is a big day for High School Never Ends. We are starting a brand new series. And I'm excited about this one because I love audience participation. Steve, tell them more about it.
It is a brand new series that we did once before. It's called You Pick 'em June. And basically, me and Chris didn't pick any of the bands or any of the albums that we are going to talk about this month. All yins, yous, guys, and girls out there chose these for us. And we did things a little bit different than a year ago. It's been a year since we did You Pick 'em June. And last year, we had everybody just give us like tons and tons of like, hey, what do you guys want us to do? And we took all those things. This year, what we did is we actually compiled all of the things that everybody has said to us in Discord and Rankin' It and messages. And we presented you guys with options, band versus band. And that's how we came up with the bands and the albums for You Pick 'em June this year. I thought it was super fun. Thank you, people who voted.
I agree. This was super fun, and it was very interesting to see what the results were. I think, for this one in particular. So, Steve, did you go into the details of how we look to do this? Did you talk about the fact that we did band versus band and then song versus song? Did you say that?
Well, we did band A versus band B, and then after the winner was chosen from that, we gave 4 choices of albums. And then the folks out there on the socials, the Instagrams, voted on exactly which album we should do.
Yeah. So why this was so interesting, because, based on the people that listen to the show, obviously, there's a lot of people out there on the socials that pay attention and that participated in this. And we got a really good result in terms of a turnout of people that threw their hat in the ring for which band they wanted to hear. But this one was not lopsided. So we did Neck Deep versus Mayday Parade. This was for this first week. And, lo and behold, Neck Deep edged them out. And it was not, again, a landslide, 59% to 41%. So for those of you out there in the 41% that wanted to hear Mayday Parade, Steve, maybe someday.
We'll put it back in the pocket. I was, a lot of these matchups, I really had no idea what people would pick, because a lot of them are ones that like I'm not particularly like super familiar with. I know of the band Neck Deep. I know of the band Mayday Parade. Do I know all their songs? Have I listened to full albums? I mean, we'll find out, but not necessarily. So I didn't this one, and we'll get to the others when we get there, but there were a lot of really good matchups. Some of them were super close. And it seemed to be after Neck Deep was chosen, we threw out 4 of their albums. Well, they only have 5 albums. So we threw out their self-titled album, All Distortions Are Intentional, Wishful Thinking, which is their first album, and Life's Not Out to Get You from 2015. That's what we're talking about today, because that one won pretty handily. That one got 56% of the vote. Their most recent 2024 brand new album, self-titled, Neck Deep, that one got 34%, but then the other 2 just got 3% and 6%. So it seems like if we're going to do a Neck Deep album, this is the one to do.
Agreed. This is the place to start. I think there's a lot of good reasons why. This is the one that I personally started with. I did listen to Neck Deep before this show, but this is the album that I started with. Why? It was someone gave me a reference. Someone gave me a recommendation to start here. And I think that probably holds true for the other people that voted for this one as well. So
you listened to Neck Deep. Are you did you listen to like every album? Did you hear them in passing? Like, what's your Neck Deep fandom?
Well, I didn't get to neck deep into the band.
Oh.
Get that? Oh. No, I just listened to this album, and I didn't listen to it 100 times. This is one of those that, based on the needs of the show, Chris 183 doesn't get a chance to listen to a lot of other stuff that he wants to listen to all the time. I think that rings true, right? We do a lot of stuff for the show here. So that said, I really only had the opportunity to listen to this album once or twice. So didn't, I don't know like the back of my hand, and I haven't listened to it in a while. So, this exercise actually brought me back, and I still, obviously put a lot more time into it this time. But yeah, prior to this, I did have some idea of what type of band they were, what kind of music they had, and was into what their sound was bringing. So, what about you, Steve? Anything at all prior to this?
Well, I wanted to ask. So, did you listen to ones after this? Like when Neck Deep came out with a new album this year, were you like gotta hear that, or they're just like, oh, I kind of like them, they're fine?
I said I gotta hear it, but I haven't heard it. It's just one of those on my to-do list. Yes.
For me, like nothing, almost zero. I would say I've seen a couple of like clips. They've played the like the AP Awards, I think a couple of times. I've never caught them live. No, I don't have any experience with this band at all, other than the fact that I know that people like them. They're a band that came on, when I was a little, long in the tooth, and it was right before I had my daughter, so I wasn't like in new music discovery mode around 2014, and then this one came out in 15. So no, I have a clean slate. I have nothing to think good or bad going into this exercise.
Yeah, but I'll be honest though, it wasn't until after we started the show that I got into this band. I mean, it wasn't prior to that. I didn't know them when they came out. I don't think we started the show in 2015, did we?
We did not.
No.
We've been around a while, but not that long.
We have. So yeah, it was after the show that we were that I got into this, and it's funny that listen to them, and then that AP performance was it.
I just watched it.
2016. Yeah, I think that's when that was. APMA. What does that stand for? Associated Press.
Associated Press Music Awards.
Yeah, it sounds like it makes sense. So I came across so first and foremost, like there were a lot of people that when we started the show that listened to us, were on the socials and our Discord, would say things like, "Oh, have you heard about Neck Deep?" And we were getting into other stuff with the show at the time. We had obviously a lot in front of us to review, to listen to do, and Neck Deep just didn't fit into that. But so many people were asking about it, and not necessarily for us to do on the show, but just in passing. Hey, do you like this band? Have you listened to them? So that was buzz for sure. And, for us, obviously being, as close to the scene as we were, and obviously being super fans of the musical genre, I don't know how I would have missed this band when it came out in 2015, but ultimately, again, the buzz was still there. So, it made me curious, and I came across, eventually the music, and then this live performance in 2016 that I caught well after 2016, but this was a really good one, and I want to talk about this, Steve, but maybe you want to save this for a little bit later in the show?
No, talk about it. I mean, go ahead.
So basically, what I was doing is I was looking for live performances just in general, kind of just browsing around, and I came across this. And I don't know about you or anybody out there, but I really enjoy when a band does a medley, and really enjoy when they do a medley and potentially mix it up with other members of other bands, maybe specifically lead singers. And this performance that Neck Deep did at the APMA Awards, that's exactly what they did. So they started with a medley of 4 different songs that they went through, and I have them here. Steve, do you know what songs those were before I go into this?
I do, because I watched it like right before we signed on here.
All right, so why don't you list them off?
It was. It started with what? Green Day, "Welcome to Paradise."
Yes.
I forget who the guest was though. I didn't know all of the guests.
I'll get into that. Just list the songs off, and then
they did "Hit or Miss" by New Found Glory, and man, that one was lost on that audience. The audience just didn't know New Found Glory, unfortunately. And then they did what? "Dear Maria, Count Me In," and the dude from State Champs came out, and he fucking killed it. He was great. And then they did "The Rock Show." And some dude I didn't know came out, but Alex Gaskarth crashed the party and like overshadowed him. And then they finished it up with their own song, "December."
So a couple things. So the "Welcome to Paradise" by Green Day, they were joined by a gentleman by the name of Will Gold from the band Creeper, who I've never actually heard of. So if you guys know who Creeper is or anything about Will Gold, let us know, because I don't know. Number 2 is Jaden Seeley from With Confidence, was the singer that joined them for the Newfound Glory song. Something about a record player. I don't know.
Yes, the needle on the record player wearing thin.
You are right about Dear Maria. Man, did Derek I always say his name wrong. Discarino. I forget, guys, but sorry, Derek. I love your band. So don't take offense to that. State champs, yes. And yeah, you're right. He just crushed that. Like, oh my God. Actually, that probably was the reason why I became such a big fan of State Champs too. Like that performance. I knew about them before that, but man, did he crush it. And then the rock show was Alex Costello from the band Rome. Does that ring a bell?
Nope.
So all these bands,
but he got overshadowed by Alex.
Is this award show in America or is it overseas?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I think it's in America.
And then finally they did the song December, and it's funny because I know you have something to say about this, but they were joined by Chris Carrabba, right?
You could say that.
Did Chris Carrabba maybe do any kind of maybe studying, or do you feel like he just said, I'm just going to wing this one?
I mean, Chris Carrabba acted like he completely didn't know the words and then was like searching for a monitor and then caught it, which is actually, there is a version of December out there featuring Chris Carrabba, like an officially recorded version. So I don't know if that came before or after that performance, but quite surprising to hear. Maybe he had a few beverages and just had his brain somewhere else. I don't know, but he did not put his best foot forward. I would say that.
It's funny because Ben Barlow, the lead singer of Neck Deep, you could see Chris was drowning and he just started to sing the lyrics for him. And then Chris came in with the harmony.
It's kind of like when you go. It's kind of like when you go to the emo band and you don't know the words, and then Fox and Nate come in and they help sing along with you because they don't want to make it look silly.
But Chris nailed it though. He nailed that harmony. As soon as Ben come in, it sounded amazing.
He picked it up. He lost it, but he picked it up.
And he really did. He has an amazing voice too. So I really would have liked to have heard, and I probably search that version that you're talking about to hear what it actually sounds like when he knows the words.
It's pretty good.
He has such a dynamic voice that it definitely works with that song, and we'll get into that song a little bit later. But I was a big fan of that performance, and that really sold me on this band.
It was very cool. There was another performance on the AP Awards, I think it was, or some other awards that we talked about. I remember Ryan Key guested, some other people guested. Maybe I think it was All Time Low, their performance, and they had Ryan. Maybe this is a thing that they do at that award each year, is they have a band kind of go and do a medley. But I do remember Ryan Key joining All Time Low. So maybe that was the year before or after. I think I saw it on my YouTube thingamajigger after I watched that.
Maybe that's why he came out during this set. Maybe this was the year after, and he just wanted to be a part of this one.
I get the impression that a lot of those guys are like legitimately friends. So maybe.
They didn't seem pissed off. So, I mean, they seemed
except
like
that one guy that got overshadowed. He was like, oh my God, Alex Gaskarth, get off the fucking stage. This is my one time to shine.
But who, like that Alex Costello, he wasn't my cup of tea. He didn't sound like when he came out to do the rock show. And honestly, Neck Deep, I don't know if they necessarily did a great job with it either. But
that's not a good song to cover. I mean, it's a very. I love Blink-182. I do enjoy that song, but it's a pretty easy song to cover. There's not a whole lot of things that you're going to do to make it so different. They could have picked something else, but they probably wanted something that the fans would know. That's why nobody knew what the hell, what Newfound Glory's Hit or Miss was. If they did My Friends Over You, then people might have known it.
Yep. We knew it, though. We knew it.
We certainly did. But all right, that was a medley that included one song from this album. But we are here today on You Pick 'em June, and we are here to discuss Life's Not Out to Get You, which came out in August 14th of 2015. These guys are on Hopeless Records. The album did pretty well. It got to 17 on the Billboard 200. It got to number 3 on the Billboard Alternative Albums chart. It was number 8 on the United Kingdom Albums chart. In the United Kingdom, it sold over 60,000. I guess that's records or record equivalents. And I forgot to say, of course, these guys are not from the United States. They are from the United Kingdom. They are from Wrexham, which is in the country Wales, which would make them Welsh. So look how learned I am to know those things.
That is not to be confused with that soccer team show, right?
Same city. That's where, what is it? Rob McElhaney and Ryan Reynolds, they bought the Wrexham Football Club. So same area. So they now have neck deep Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney.
Awesome. That's an amazing combination.
That's a pretty good fucking combo, if you ask me.
Yes, sir.
I'm in this weird deep dive where I'm rewatching all of the X-Men outputs. And so I just watched the X-Men Wolverine where, Ryan Reynolds is the bad the crappy Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. I'm right behind you, buddy. I'm trying to do the same thing.
Are you really?
Yeah, but I'm starting with the cartoon.
That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I watched all of the original X-Men cartoon, then I watched X-Men 97, and now I'm watching all of the movies in sequential order.
My problem is I fall asleep real easy, so I always fall asleep during an episode and wake up like 7 episodes later.
That original cartoon, you don't have there's not that much continuity that you have to worry about, and some of them are pretty trashy.
Mm. Well, in any case,
anything else on Neck Deep?
Let's talk about Neck Deep. Anything else on this album, Steve, that's worth mentioning that you didn't already mention?
Well, I think I probably would have mentioned it if it was. I mean, the artwork is quite interesting. I really like the. I don't even know what to make of it. It's this big cartoon. It's hard for me to see it because it's so little on my Spotify. But what do you think about the cover?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of like an abstract type cartoonish vibe with really a lot of things going on here. You got a guy with fire coming out of his head, and looks like he has 6 eyes. You got I don't even know, a Wolverine or something that's across the table from him. A lot of symbolism, a lot of eyes everywhere, which is interesting. A tiger paw. You know what it is? It fits right in with the title. Life's Not Out to Get You. So basically, it's just a guy, and it looks like all the eyes mean that he's probably like super paranoid about things and always watching out for things that he feel that could be out to get him. Everything watching him, like these mountains and this weird looking cougar across the way, but it's all just in his head, right? It's all just in his head, and he's making it all up, and it's really the long and short of it. That's the way that I perceive this album cover. Do you see it in a different way?
No, I guess you're totally right. He's got all the eyes. There's things on fire. He's paranoid. You got things like I don't know, books and mail and wine, and it's a little bit medieval. There's a castle in the background, but it's quite interesting. I think if I could get a really big copy of it in front of me, maybe I could dissect it more. But I think it's pretty cool. I like their like cartoonish vibe, the font, and the whole thing behind it.
Really quick, we could play the Spotify game. Do you know which song would be number 1 off this album? I think it's pretty easy to pick. But if you know the song, pick the song and what you think the number of streams are. Yeah,
so I listen on my computer where I can see the Spotify stream. So I know it's December, and I know that some of the lesser listened to songs have about 11 to 13 million streams, but I think this one has like 160 million. Is that in the vicinity?
Well, if this is Price is Right, you would have lost, but it's 146,278,000.
That's pretty decent, though.
It's close. It was a good guess. But what's funny is December again, featuring Mark Hoppus, is also in the running. It's only 55 million, so not quite as close, but I'd like to listen to that one. I didn't listen to that one.
I did. It's sped up like the so the two additional we maybe we should save it for when we get to December.
Save it. I want to talk about so much, but save it.
Back pocket. I will say first listen, second listen, third listen. This is a really good fucking album. I'm going to put my cards on the table face up and say that for the most part, I really, really enjoyed listening to this record, and I could see why people love it. And I could see a lot of these songs, more than half of these songs, having like staying power and being like, playlist addable worthy, if that's the right words, but really, really good. I wouldn't say, I don't know that I'm surprised because I didn't know what to think coming in, but I get it now. I get it. This album is fucking really good.
The music is just so good. It's so melodic. It's easy to sing along to. For me, I totally agree. Like this is an awesome album that they put together, and it has a little bit of everything. It has your classic pop punk sound. It has a little bit of aggression in it. Hard driving, up tempo. It has some slower songs. It's still rock, still an amazing chorus to them. So it doesn't really matter. Again, what necessarily you're into when it comes to pop punk music. This has such a nice mix to it, and it does it so well that I think it appeals to all different types of people. And also, I could see myself listening to this album in a lot of different scenarios, like in the car, at a party, just chilling with friends, with a couple beers. Doesn't matter, right? I think this would fit in any of those circumstances, and to me, that's unique, and I that led to me really enjoying this one.
Yeah, same. All right, you want to get into it?
Yeah, I do. And we'll start off with the first track, Citizens of Earth. I don't know about you, but I thought that this first track was just going to be an intro track once again when I first started listening to it, because it started off with like some kind of sound effects and a dog barking and just some nonsense. But it definitely was not that to me. Like it was a song. This song really just started off with a burst of energy. It just was hard driving from the get-go, aggressive lyrics, right up Chris 183's alley, right? This is what I want to hear when you start an album to get me really interested in going. I think it was like kind of Sum 41-esque, the harder Sum 41 stuff, which I love, right? And, this one actually even starts and stops. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but it definitely was surprising and it's unique. You think the song's over and then it just starts over again, just for a little bit, but thought it was worth calling out. But overall, Citizens of Earth, it's really, if you listen to the music and the guitar, it's simplified. It's intense. Its intensity's high though. So again, that kind of it masks the simplicity of it. Not that simplicity's bad, but the intensity of it masks it to a point that it sounds a lot more complicated than it is. And it gets you into a mood to continue to listen to this album just because of the fast tempo. And I shouldn't say fast, but the aggressive tempo, because it's not really a fast tempo. It's aggressive, but it makes you want more. Or at least it made me want more. Steve, what about you?
By the way, doesn't Ben Barlow look like Cillian Murphy? Did you get that vibe from him?
Yeah, I see that. I see it.
He really reminds me of, having Cillian Murphy just won all the Oscars and all the things. So he's been on camera quite recently. And the lead singer, Ben, looks like him a lot. I'm not sure about the muted little chatter and the stuff in the beginning and the end. Didn't really need that. But this first song comes in hard. I think that you're right. I didn't think Sum 41, but you're right. It does have that. It mixes kind of the hardcore-ish with the pop punk. I think this song kind of establishes things. That kind of establishes them a little bit as this, like angry, we're going to point out what's wrong with society type band. Like, not only do you hear like a good pop punk sound that's mixed with that hardcore, but you get the impression that these guys have something to say, by listening to some of the words. So I think it's a pretty energetic, hard first track. I would say there's some great choruses on this album. I don't know that this has one of the great choruses, but I think that it's a pretty good kickoff track.
Okay. Go ahead and do you want us to keep going then with Threat Level Midnight?
Man, so having never heard this album before and not knowing the track list, I was in my car or something like that, and I saw Threat Level Midnight come up, and I was like, so I'd only listened to one Neck Deep song ever, and then it says Threat Level Midnight, and I was like, all right, these guys got me. I'm a fan. Just from the title itself, Threat Level Midnight is actually the title of my home Wi-Fi network, and it's taken from The Office. If I think you're a fan of The Office, one of my favorite episodes, and it's alluded to so many times in that show that just by seeing that, I'm like, okay, these guys are good. I like it. The song itself, I would say it's pretty fun. It's catchy. This to me, especially like halfway through the first verse, this is like a pit song. This is like early in their career. Let's get this fucking crowd going, like circle pit, jump into each other. Definitely got some of those vibes from this one. What do you think?
You even get a My Yed in this one.
Yed, yeah, he does. He does a Yed.
Unbelievable with the this song is unbelievable though. You're right. Like musically, to me, this song's an 11 out of 10. I loved it that much. It came in really hard, just like the last song. The melody's amazing on this song. The guitar harmony and the layering of those guitars is just outstanding. Like, what more could you really want out of a guitar track or tracks? And ladies and gentlemen, the drums on this one, they're just outstanding. Like, I think about complicated drumming. Listen to this. And okay, so for those of you out there that are like, oh, what are you talking about? He doesn't do the triple bass kick drum with the snare. Dude, I don't know. I just know what I'm listening to, and this is outstanding. Very complicated drumming to me, and I was super impressed. And it went right with the song too. It did not stick out as something that didn't belong. If you look at the progression through the song too, I kind of like the way that they did it. At the beginning, it kind of features the lyrics because you have more of a lyrical. The volume on the lyrics is higher than everything else. Limited instrumental backing. They want you to listen to what he's saying. And then they do a little bit more with the drums. That's where that complicated, super cool drumming comes in after that. And then, throughout the rest of the song is where they get a lot more creative with the guitar lines. And you can hear it throughout, again, kind of permeating the rest of the song. Those guitars are just immersive. So I love everything the song wants to do from front to back. And like you said, Steve, it would be hard for somebody to tell me that this does not sell you on this band, this song. So I'm with you 100%.
It was just the name, not even the music, just the name sold me. I'm like, these guys love The Office. I love these guys.
I'm with both. I like both. I'm with both. Okay, so Can't Kick Up the Roots.
You can't kick them up.
Is it the Roots, the band? Probably not, right? I doubt it, but I don't know what he's talking about. Why would you kick up Roots? Why would you do that?
This is the quintessential, get the fuck out of my hometown. This is like the town, the song about being, loving your hometown and wanting to get the fuck out of your hometown. Like, where I live is a dump. This place is a shipwreck, but the shipwreck is mine. That would be the Roots where his, his family has grown.
Oh, duh. I should have saw. Why didn't I see that? Unbelievable.
Got to get the fuck out of my hometown. Yeah, I mean, the chorus itself, I've been wasting away in a town with no way out. There's not much else to do anyway. If you're looking for a place to decay, there'll always be a place in my town called Revelry, which the town's name is Wrexham. I don't know why they said Revelry, but it's Wrexham.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I didn't spend a lot of time with the lyrics on this one. I was so into the music that I didn't necessarily. I figured I would just depend on you for that because you're always good to make sure that you double and triple check the lyrics. So thank you for that. But
I did a little bit.
I don't know. Like the music on this song, guys, is to me like kind of by the numbers. That's not necessarily saying I didn't like it, but it has a great pop punk type intro, and then kind of just is an enjoyable pop punk song. I think it's just straightforward. It has, just a regular beat. It's semi fast pace, semi upbeat, but ultimately the sound itself, I think it doesn't do anything that crazy. It just stays kind of by the numbers, and it gives you a pretty decent song. That's really all I had to say about this one.
I think for me, when you make a really good classic pop punk song that's by the numbers, it can be such an earworm that you get obsessed with it. To me, the beat, the tempo right from the start is just perfect. The chorus is huge. They've got a lot of those like drum kind of stop and starts, give you a quarter second breath before they get in. It's got an awesome bridge. Very New Found Glory like I can see that these guys drew influence from New Found Glory. And with this song and the next song, I must say that it's hard for me to understand. I know we've talked about New Found Glory till the cows come home. It's hard to understand why, you would not like New Found Glory as strongly as you don't, but like these guys, because I feel like there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of like roots in there. But anyways, this song is awesome. It's got like a clap along part. This is a perfect like pop punk single. It's number 3 on the record. This was the first song they released as a single. There's a video for it. So I think they picked the right one to come out of the gate with.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think you're right. And I think it's interesting you brought up that why don't I like, the New Found Glory comparison. I have that in my notes for a little bit later. So we will get to that.
I had it in my notes actually for the next song.
Okay, that's fine. You can talk about it. Why don't you talk about it?
Kali Ma, Lean Over Me. So did you look what Kali Ma actually is?
Oh, right away.
Okay.
Temple of Doom. Yeah.
Well, it's the Hindu deity, the goddess of destruction. And yes, it does reference Indiana Jones. The song references Indiana Jones as well. The guitar in the beginning, in the background, is just absolutely amazing. It just kind of like keeps going and going and going. I really like the pre-chorus into the chorus. This is like, it's a great like pop punk heartbreak song. It's not whiny, but it is about like a breakup and, rip my heart out of rip your hand into my chest and, pull out my bleeding heart for the world to see. It's not whiny. And maybe that's why, I don't know if Jordan's voice was the reason why you hated New Found Glory, but there's a different voice. But I found this song to be very New Found Glory, like, especially like the Catalyst on era, like a little bit more of the harder New Found Glory. So I could see you liking this song. Again, it's got a strong chorus. I'm a fan. Kali Ma.
Yeah, I love this song, guys. This is exactly what Steve said. It's another earworm for me. It's always cool when they take what is probably when you think about what they're singing about, like it's heartbreak and destruction and rebirth. Like it's what did you say? Kali Ma was the goddess of destruction or the god of destruction, something like that. But they make it upbeat and New Found Glory-esque. So it's like this bubbly New Found Glory song on top of like it's not necessarily the most upbeat of themes. So the fact that they mix those two together and you forget about the fact that it's so heavily thematic, I think that's always super cool and creative to do that. And it takes some talent to make that work. But yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think it's a straightforward, again, by the numbers pop punk song that just does the right things, right? It has all the right stuff in it. I don't have anything that I can say about stuff that stands out to me, again, on this song, similar to the last one. But for some reason, I actually like this one a little bit better than Can't Kick Up the Roots. I think, musically, and I love the references to Indiana Jones. I think maybe that kind of puts it over the top. But, outside of that, I don't think there's much more to say other than just it's a good track that's easy to listen to.
Fair enough. All right. Well, next one is Gold Steps. Did I start the last one? You want to do this one?
Yeah, you did. So Gold Steps.
Are there gold steps in Indiana Jones?
I mean, there's
got to be in one of those movies.
Probably. I mean, it's the Temple of Doom, so does temples have steps? I mean, there's other Indiana Jones. Maybe the Golden Skull. No, that's something else.
I don't know. I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan.
I am, and I can tell you about it. We'll talk about it another time, maybe for the next movie May. But for this, you pick 'em June. We will not. We will talk about Gold Steps. And this song brings me back in. So you think about the last two songs, and again, not downplaying these, but because they were so by the numbers, I kind of put things on autopilot with, my listening. And even though they were enjoyable, I'm not going to go back on that. I know people are listening to what I say, by the way, out there. And if I go back on something that I said prior to, they're going to find out, right, Steve? I know they're out there and they're listening.
I'll point it out too.
You always do. You always give that laughing emoji with the crying every time somebody does that. So thanks.
It's a good emoji.
You're supposed to have my back, buddy. You're supposed to have my back. We're co-hosts, but
I do.
Ultimately, here. This one brings me back with just a really, really, really awesome melody that stands out a bit more than the last two. So this one gets back to the creativity that I'd enjoy from this band that I kind of heard in the first couple tracks. And I really, really loved that intro riff that permeates the song, and not throughout the entire thing, but it kind of comes back into into the mix kind of mid-song too. So listen for that riff at the beginning. It comes back again. I really like that sound. I can't reproduce it because I tried that in the past and it hasn't gone well when I try and sing a guitar. But listen to the song and you'll know what I'm talking about. And I think the tempo really makes this song better. So the tempo that they chose for this one, because it was a little bit faster, I think it made this song that much better. I think it's the up tempo that really just sells it for me. And finally, I like that acapella that Ben Barlow does kind of towards the latter part of the song. It's not obviously 100% acapella. There's something behind his voice, but the guy can sing, and I think this kind of showcases that. So, Steve, what did you think about Gold Steps?
Well, I know I kind of said that Can't Kick Up the Roots kind of has it all, but Gold Steps really has it all in a pop punk song for me. It's got an awesome pre-chorus. The chorus is just fucking amazing. It's like a summer sing-along in the car. The weather is nice, perfect for June. Listen to it now. It's got this bridge where I just picture myself jumping up and down at a show, going along to the bridge. It's got that slowed down a cappella part of the chorus. It's got one small scream at the end, and it's actually got it's got the title of the album in it. And the song kind of has a great message, life is a fucking struggle, but there's always hope, and you have to keep hoping. And I think that overall this was the second single. Can't Kick Up the Roots, Gold Steps. I mean, these to me have pop punk singles written all over them. I wonder if these two songs came out in 2003 or 4, if these would not have taken over MTV the way that Fat Lip and Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous and The Rock Show would have. I feel like it's just a different era. If there was MTV and TRL and, the top 40 radio stations were still incorporating this type of music, I feel like if these guys were 10, 15 years earlier, they would have fucking been ginormous stars at this point. And this song really encapsulates, I think, all of that.
Yeah, because 2015, what were we looking at in terms of the importance of pop punk music? I feel like by that time,
not at all.
It was kind of just not necessary. There was still a presence. I mean, there were still bands, obviously.
Well, you got the second wave. You got your Story So Far and your Wonder Years and your Neck Deep and folks like that. But it wasn't popular on the radio. There wasn't a way to get this song on Z100, if anyone knows what Z100 is, or TRL, you know? So, but it could have been, if this was 2004, like these guys would have gotten there with this
The
song.
only way you would have found it is if, again, you were from that era, that you really love pop punk, and you had something like Spotify or whatever else, and you type in pop punk music, and this would have come up, right? So that's probably the only other way that you would have found this, unless somebody had a recommendation. But
I would think that, you know, they probably, I'm just going to assume here. I would assume that they, you know, did a bunch of touring to like build themselves up in the UK, as one might do. And then they caught the eye of Hopeless Records, which is a pretty big record label. So that probably helped, you know, fuel the machine and get some marketing behind them. But yeah, I mean, about this time, it almost was, you know, starting to be about playlisting and stuff like that. But I think tours are probably really what's, you know, driving success. But my point is that they could have had that overnight, you know, pop punk thing that Sum 41 and Good Charlotte and Blink-182 had all those years ago.
Oh yeah, no, I was comparing it kind of back to the radio analogy or the radio example, and how people would just find the band. You know, if you're touring,
right.
Generally you're not just going to find somebody, like you're going to that show because you like either this band or somebody that's with them. That's not necessarily for the everyday person that's just driving to work or whatever. So that's kind of what I was getting at.
No, I gotcha. Yeah.
So the next song here, Lime Street, this song rocks, guys. Like, this is another one of those that they just keep coming. This band is, to your point before, this band is just so super talented with what they're trying to do here. To be able to, song after song, deliver earworm songs that just keep both myself and Steve saying a lot of the same things about these songs, all positive. And I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of these songs that we've talked about so far have been mostly optimistic, uplifting, upbeat, like in nature. And basically, again, I didn't study the lyrics, but I know the overall themes, except for that one song that I obviously missed completely. It seems like, you know, they are mostly an optimistic band. There's some emo in there, don't get me wrong, but mostly optimistic songs that kind of have that bright side to them that maybe kind of add to it. I don't need that all the time, but I think it doesn't hurt, especially, again, if you're looking for an album that you can kind of roll the windows down in June and listen to. But Lime Street is one of those songs. It's just so good. It rocks. It's more of that aggression that this band has mastered. And just listening to this album, you'll say to yourself, man, this band knows how to do a super aggressive sound, a track that sounds good in the melody, and also just has all those components of what you like about pop punk. They've mastered that, and this is another example of that. And this is the song, guys, that, to Steve's point earlier, that made me realize that this band is what New Found Glory could have been if they had Ben as a lead singer versus Jordan. To me, this is high-pitched singing, pop punk done correctly. And I'm not saying that Ben Barlow is a high-pitched singer, but it's just that same similar. He can be high-pitched.
You could say that.
But he doesn't stick to that only. And his range leads to just so much more. It just makes the music that much richer, in my opinion, and that much more interesting. So yes, I think that you were right in your assumption of what I thought about this band versus New Found Glory, and the fact that, you know, the different lead singer makes all the difference in my head. So, Steve, I said a lot. How about Lime Street?
Lime Street. Well, here's the thing. It's funny that you equate this to New Found Glory, because I'm going to equate this to something else. And I'm going to challenge everyone out there. If you're listening to this show, I want you to just hit pause real quick. And I want you to listen to the muted introduction of this song. The muted introduction of this song. Wait, go do it. Okay, now you're back. The muted introduction to this song is either it's an ode or it's a tribute to I Miss You. It sounds exactly like Blink-182's I Miss You. Ding, 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 ding. Like it is that. And it is really fucking cool. And the theme of this song is kind of, I can't get this girl out of my head or this person out of my head. So for them to give that ode to Blink-182's I Miss You, and then to write this song, I think is great. I mean, it makes me buy right in to everything they're doing. I'm eating it up.
It's my yed.
And that, dude, honestly, you pointed that out. I meant to, but you pointed it out. And exactly. I think that these guys are huge fans of the music that we grew up and we love, and they're doing their own thing, but they're throwing in these little things. He definitely says "yed" like in that other song. And this definitely sounds like I Miss You. So if you didn't hear it, go listen to it. It's there. This song, two of my favorite things about this song. First off, it's another huge fucking chorus. Is it too late to say? I'm like jumping up and down in my seat here, just thinking it in my head. I also love, this is not the second thing, but I love the line where he says, I'm missing you like shit today. That's such a, like, it's such like a UK kind of thing to say, but it like, I have a potty mouth and, I think that's hilarious. I'm missing you like shit today. I think that's a hilarious way to just say, I miss you. And then the other thing is that I love the one verse where, I mean, to me, it's like he's drawing a picture, like he's making a scene. He says, you asked me where we could meet. I found you there on Lime Street. One cig left in your pocket, stood shy in your dad's jacket. A moment I'll always keep. Take me back to Lime Street. I swear to God, you saved me. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a cinematic type of thing. Like I see him there in like some leather jacket with a pack of cigarettes that only has one in there, or she's got the whatever. And I don't know, it's just this like romantic scene that he's pining for because he either doesn't have it anymore or it's something that he created in his mind. And overall, they did a great job with this song, Lime Street. I think it's really good.
Couldn't agree more. You're up.
Moving on.
Serpents.
Serpientes. So this one starts off kind of like dark and brooding and slow. And at first I'm like, okay, so, we're going to get like we're going to get like a ballad here at number 7. Oh, and by the way, just backwards a little bit, 3, 4, 5, 6 to me on this record is like a fucking great block of songs. I know that you really loved 2, but I would just, for me, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a insane block of songs. I'm not saying that Serpents is bad, but this, it starts all slow and brooding and it just bursts into like this hardcore kind of track. It's definitely like an emo jam. It's got a lot of like pace changes in it. I like at the end, it kind of calls back to the beginning. A lot of times when there's like a chorus, but then at the end, they have a couple lines where it calls back to the beginning. She sleeps beneath the surface, consorting with the serpents. She strikes with a purpose. This whole, comparing a person to a serpent or a snake or something like that. I think it's not necessarily like a top track for me, but I still like really like it a lot.
I'll tell you what, I went in a little bit different of a direction. I put 3 stars next to this one. This song is a banger to me. Banger, that's right. I said it. This one keeps the hits going. Serpents is amazing. I love that dark and brooding sound. I love the fact that it comes in a little bit different. I love the fact that it has that bass line that is featured in sections of the song that just add to the ambiance. I love the melody here, Steve. It's memorable. The chorus is emo, like maybe that emo. I like. I'm a huge fan of emo bands and emo songs that are on the hardcore side. So this is right up my alley. This has a memorable chorus, like it's an earworm chorus or just a chorus that's easy to sing, but still dark at the same time. And It's all she sleeps beneath the surface. I love how he belts that out. Like there was a part in the song where he belts out she sleeps beneath the surface, and it goes into something else. I think it's at the end, but I love that. I love the way that that's delivered. This song for me is like tops. Like Serpents is amazing. I don't know, it just keeps the hits going, man.
See, I think for me, when the chorus is more subdued, right? The way he sings this chorus, it's a good chorus, but it's lower. I gave her my heart, she didn't want it. Like it's much lower. I like those really big choruses, but he makes up for it in that, I don't know what you call it, the verse or the post chorus or something. You know, she sleeps, but he goes higher after the chorus. I like the big chorus, so maybe that's why I liked it a little less than you did.
But I do too. I love the big choruses too. But I'll tell you what, like when a band mixes it up and it's done in a way that's the melody like kind of connects with my brain, I'm okay with it. Like that's it. That different approach. Again, it has to be a specific melody that connects. But this one does. This makes me have the feels, and I like the change of pace. So that's why I was with this one.
Sweet.
All right, the beach.
The beach is for lovers.
It is not Ohio is for lovers. This is something different. There is no beach in Ohio, except for, I guess, if you go to one of the lakes.
There's some lakes. There's beaches at the lakes, yeah.
Yeah, some of those beaches, some of those lakes, you don't want to go to the beach because there are snakes.
Wow, are we tying all the songs together? The serpents and the snakes and the beach?
You're right. There might be. Maybe these guys have been to Ohio. Maybe they've been to Toledo. I don't know.
But this beach is for lovers, not lonely losers. I love the title of this song. And guys, this is a pretty perfectly constructed pop punk song to me. The vibe straight from the beginning. It's got this guitar line that seems to be in the background the entire time, but they give the bass gets its time to stand out. It's got this awesome little 2-line pre-chorus into a great chorus, and then just the end of the chorus, the hindsight's 2020, is just a line. If you didn't hear any other words in that song, you could still be walking around your house going hindsight's 2020. And then, you know, if you look into the lyrics a little bit, like it's kind of about, like, you know, looking back with regret, but you don't want to have regrets. This is, you know, going in at number 8, a great, like, just pop punk banger kind of hidden in the middle late stage of this album. Really good.
Mm-hmm. And this is another one of those songs that takes the upbeat vibe and mashes it up against, you know, lyrics that are, you know, what about being lonely, like you said, or longing for somebody. It's another one of those where they take the highs and the lows and kind of mash them together, and it works. But, you know, the music alone, that sound to me, like I just want to take this song back to the early 2000s with me. I want to just kind of take this song in a suitcase back there and go to the beach. As soon as we get to our beach house, like get everything set, crack the beers, get the beer pong going, have everybody around, and then just crank this song. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to listen to this in that setting with the sunshine and all that stuff happening. It's a feeling that I could not necessarily shake when I was listening to this song. Like, that's where I want this to be. I want to be in that space. And I love that so, so much. So yes, this song hits me in all the feels. Another good one, another amazing song. And outside of that, like I don't even have too many more notes on this one. It's just the vibe. It's just the vibe of the song that kind of draws me in, and I don't want to leave. So huge
Fuck
fan
forever.
of this one too.
Live today and die together. What a line. What a line.
Yes, sir. And I'll tell you what, then you transition into number 9, which is December. Steve, I'm not always a big fan of ballads. Self-professed. There are a lot more ballads that you enjoy versus what I enjoy.
You like a good ballad. You like Fall Out Boy's Heaven, Iowa.
I do. I just, maybe I don't like them as much as you do. I don't know.
But this is different. Know. This is an acoustic ballad.
This song's just this is great. So I'm going to start it off with that. Like, I think this overarching, I love December. Like, you talk about a chorus that doesn't leave your head, that you could sing all day long. Like, this is it. This is it to me. Like, these guys nail it again with a ballad now. And it's undeniable. I want to know, like, from somebody that really, and you obviously, you're the ballad connoisseur on this show. Let us know what you think about December.
Oh, me.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know because to me, like, I'm high level. I'm very high level on this. I said what I said. I super enjoyed it. Like, this is the one that was on that performance. This is the one that, you know, Chris Carrabba couldn't remember the words, and then he could on the reproduction. So, but the song itself, super melodic. Love to sing along to it. Definitely, again, a little bit slower ballad. Not a lot slower. Let's put our cards on the table, but that's okay. I think it works. And December is generally like a not necessarily that exciting of a month, other than, I guess, Christmas or whatever other holiday you may celebrate. But generally, it's, you know, dark and snowy and not my time of the year that I enjoy the most. So,
yeah, this is the fourth single, and by far, the song that picked up the most steam, the most streamed, as we talked about before.
Yep.
This is a beautiful, beautiful, sad acoustic jam. It is absolutely fantastic. Ben's voice sounds amazing. There's just the right amount of, like, keyboard or piano, whatever it is, whatever those keys are in the background. It's soft, it's melodic, and you're right. The chorus just gets stuck inside your ears. You know, I literally was walking around my house for a week singing this, just like under my breath. And then at the end, it's funny because there are two versions of this song, one with Chris Carrabba and one with Mark Hoppus. But my comment before I even knew that, I wrote down that at the very end, it's very dashboard like scream singing. You know, I miss your face, I miss you're in my. He's doing that, like, that perfect, like, screaming infidelities type delivery. And it's amazing. It's a really, really great song. If you haven't heard you heard the faster version because you watched that live performance with Chris Carrabba fucking it up. But there's two music videos and official recordings called December Again. One of them has Chris Carrabba, and that is the same tempo, the same pace as this one, but Chris Carrabba does the last verse and chorus. And then the other one features Mark Hoppus, and that's a recorded fast version of this song. And same thing, Mark Hoppus does the final, verse and chorus or something, the last, like, two verses or whatever it is. And what's amazing about the song is that it's so good slow, but when they speed it up like that, it actually sounds great. I'm curious, since I've never seen them live, if they do it the same way each time they perform this, or if they do it different ways, or if it's always the slow way or always the fast way. I would be really interested to know that. So if you know the answer, sound it off in the Discord or the Instagram or something like that. But this is an awesome jam. December.
I would love to know, because it seems like we're really both into this one. And maybe this is more of a question for everybody out there listening. So get out your Discord chats or get out your Instagrams or Facebooks or whatever. But we want to know, at least I want to know, of your very, very best or favorite ballads from your favorite pop punk bands. Think about, your top 3 or your top 5, whatever. Where does this song fit into that, or does it fit? Does it make the top 5? Does it make your top 10? Where does it fit amongst those just all-time great pop punk ballads? I'm not going to, I would put you on the spot, Steve, but I kind of want you to think about it first, unless you feel like you could give an answer.
No, all I could say is that I would put this one in consideration in the top list. I would put it in consideration. I'm new to this one. I didn't know this song before, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I'd have to deep dive and figure out all the other ones that I love so much. But it's really good and deserving of being in I don't know, a top 10 or whatever it may be.
So for all of you out there listening, I expect to see everybody sound off on this, because this is going to be a really, really important question to answer. So that's all for that. And let's kind of move on then, Steve. Do you want to talk about smooth seas don't make good sailors?
Yeah, rough seas make good sailors. I think that's what he's trying to say here is that, if so again, looking into kind of the words and the vibe of the song, it's so they bust out of the acoustic and they're back into like high octane. They jolt you back into place here, and the song is kind of like I read this, so I'll read it. It's about how your perception of life affects you. So if you see the world as a terrible place, then you won't know how to help yourself. But if you can learn how to become stronger by being positive, then life will be better. And I love how these guys, I don't know how old they are or were at this point, but I love that they're coming up with these themes and these messages. And listen, this is another song here at number 10. Usually this is kind of, it's not the throwaway, but it's the end of the album. This is a really strong song with a really strong chorus. The chorus does give me, it is a little reminiscent of Gold Steps a little bit, but that's probably why I like it. So I think this one was awesome. Out of the acoustic, it's really good.
It is. And maybe I'm just on a high from December, but and I don't think this song necessarily, like you said, does anything too much different. It does resemble Gold Steps to a point. I think it would be the only song on this album that I would consider to be kind of samey to what they've given us before this. But I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the sound. Maybe because I'm at this point in the album, I'm sold on this band. So I'm okay with samey at this point in time, because samey is what I want to hear, like, from this band. And that doesn't mean that all their tracks are the same. It just means that if they give me more of what I've already heard, that I'm all about it. I'm here for it. So, whereas again, I don't have much to say on this one because I don't think it does anything that out of the ordinary. Once again, I think they perfected that to a point. Like, they've been able to do that cookie cutter pop punk song to a level that's not boring and still enjoyable. So I'm all about this track as well.
All right. Well, I hope that this episode does not come back to haunt you, but the next song is, I hope this comes back to haunt you. What'd you think of this one?
Yeah, this song's super emo, very emotional, but it's a good blend to me of fast and slow tempo. It has a chill vibe, but still aggressive vocals and music. And it's a very uplifting track to kind of go into the very latter parts of the album. So
I hope this comes back to haunt you is uplifting.
Yeah, maybe it's just the sound. Maybe it's just the music. I don't know about the words, but well, I mean, the lyrics, I don't know. Like, what is there anything about this? Because it seems like, again, a theme. Like, isn't there trying to think of one of the things I heard that's a lyric. We're at rock bottom, but we're still breathing. Doesn't that give you a little bit of like kind of like a uplifting? Hey, resilience is a theme. Like, hey, we can't get any lower, but hey, we still got it in us to keep going. Like, maybe that's what I'm kind of going for.
I'm not sure if that lyric is in this one, but yeah, I think you're right. I think that it is. Is
that not this song? I could be confused.
Well, the next song is called Rock Bottom, so it sounds like that would be part of that one.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of Rock Bottom. Yeah, I'm thinking of the next song. Okay.
But I think that this is a weird song to me. The way that it's constructed is very strange. So it starts off as this, like, it sounds like it's going to be another acoustic song. And I think I kind of would have liked if it was a second acoustic song on this album. But after the acoustic part is over, they go back into the fast. I'll call it the fast. And the first, like, faster voice, I kind of find trouble finding the beat. Like, the music, the melody just seems like off somehow. And then they do this, like, stop and start. into the next verse, and then it kind of sounds right, and it gets into this super emo-ish song. The chorus doesn't really hit as hard as a lot of the others, and then towards the end of the song, there are these verses, these paragraphs that are repeated. It kind of seems like it's a second chorus, and lyrically, that the beginning is this whole like, I hope I hope it comes back to haunt you. I never thought it would be this hard. It feels like you walked through me. But then towards the end, wake up, the world seems bright out today. Life goes on, things they change. Hands up if you've been left bruised and broken. Say I'll be okay. I'll be okay. So I think it's kind of like two different narratives within the same song. So I don't dislike what they did. I just didn't really get it as like a full cohesive song myself.
Obviously, I have these two songs confused, so we'll go with that. We'll just say that is the one. But I still stand behind my first couple of thoughts on this track with the musical part of it. Obviously, again, a little confused on the on this versus Rock Bottom with the lyrics. So we can go into Rock Bottom now, and
that's the finishing move of the rock.
It is. I wonder if that's where they're going with that, or if they're talking about hitting rock bottom. I think it could
Probably
go
that.
either way.
Probably that.
It could go either way. This one actually has a very Blink-esque intro too. Like, to me, like you said that prior to, I could hear this intro kind of like a Dude Ranch theme-ish sound if you listen to it. Again, that's kind of what I got. But this song is definitely one of my favorites. It's definitely one of my favorites on this album. I think again, great vocals on this track. Just so emotional, just so intense. I like how they do the guitar too. You have that long chord that fades into a riff. I don't know how to reproduce that in words, but listen to it, because that's exactly what happens. It's a long chord or a long note that fades into a riff. I love that. And the vocals, there's this part where the vocal is featured over drums and limited guitar. So it's like a limited sound behind it, but it's like almost an a cappella again. They bring this back for this song, and I really enjoy when they do this because Ben knocks it out of the park every time he gets that piece. It's not a large part of the song. I think it's towards maybe like the if you think about the 3 out of 4. If you break the song up into 4 quadrants, it's somewhere in the third act, the third quadrant. But overall, I really enjoyed that piece, and the vocal layering at the end was my last comment. They just make that sound so good with the layering. The finish of the song is epic. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is the uplifting song that I was talking about. We're at rock bottom, but we're still breathing. It makes more sense now, Steve, and we'll forget about what I said before.
Got it. Totally forgot. I don't have too many notes on this one other than the fact that, so you called it a Blink Dude Ranchy intro?
Just the intro.
Nope. I'm going to take your comment, which is correct, and I'm going to hone in on it. It sounds like Man Overboard. It sounds exactly like not exactly. It sounds very close to Man Overboard. So listen to these odes to Blink-182 because they're in there. I like this as a final track. I call the guitars like kind of floaty. It's got a super, I think it's a big chorus. And when these guys do big choruses, I think you got me in. I didn't necessarily have too much more to say about it other than I think it's a good track to end the album. And 12 tracks. It's not a hard listen. Nothing is like particularly super long. Nothing's like 5-6 minutes. Everything is, pretty concise. So I think this is it. That's the end of the album.
It is. And you could tell it's a good album when you get to the end and it starts over again and you're still pretty pumped to hear that first track once more. I think that's a testament to what this album brings. So to me, like I'm hurt deep that I didn't get into this one earlier because it's such a great album that I feel like I missed out a lot on this band. But we'll get into that in just a second.
Same. Wait, I have something first. I want to play a game with you.
Oh, wow. We are preempting our regularly scheduled program with
it's a guessing game.
Okay.
All right, so here is the guessing game. During Neck Deep's last show that they played, which was, I don't know, within the last few weeks, I want you, Chris 183, to tell me how many and which songs you think from this album made the set list. Knowing that they have 5 full albums, and this was their second out of the 5. How many songs and which ones do you think made the set list?
Okay. So this album was 36 minutes about long. Were they the opening band or were they the headliner?
I don't think they're an opening band at this point in time.
Okay. So probably, I would say 5 tracks off of this album.
That's correct.
And now the ones that they did. So December, definitely, right?
Correct.
I would definitely go Can't Kick Up the Roots.
Yep, that was in the encore.
I would go Gold Steps.
You are 3 for 3 so far.
Kalima.
4 for 4. One more. I'm pretty impressed that you got all those so far.
Man, did they go latter or do they go earlier? I'll just go Lime Street.
Dude, you got 5 for 5. Those are the 5 songs that they play live.
Seriously?
Still to this day. Yep.
Wow.
Lime Street, Gold Steps, Kalima, December, and Can't Kick Up the Roots. Kind of that order.
Tell Jake Lloyd to add that to trivia next time.
We can. Up for consideration.
Well, coming off that amazing game from Wingman Steve, and thank you, Steve. That was a very pleasant surprise. I was very pleasantly surprised I knew that, but they just felt like the right answers. We are now at the point in the show that we like to call Ranking It. This is where Steve and we don't have any guests this time, and that's quite okay because the two of us are going to rank our top 3 songs on this album, Life's Not Out to Get You by the band Neck Deep. Steve, it seems like we liked a lot of songs on this album, so it might be a taller task than what we probably set out in the start, but we got to do it. So, Steve, give us your top 3 songs to kick this off.
I can't do top 3, Chris. I got to do 4. And you know what? This is that's.
I'll give you an honorable mention.
That's my favorite Chris sound,
but you can't do 4.
Got it 4. Well, here's the thing about these 4 is that it was really, really hard to put these 4 that I liked so much in any sort of order. I feel like any one of these 4 could be my favorite song on the album. Any single one of them. But I'll play along, I guess, and I'll rank them. I'll give number 4 or honorable mention to The Beach is for Lovers, Not Lonely Losers. I feel bad putting it at number 3 because it really could be number 1 is December. Again, same thing. Can't Kick Out the Roots is my number 2, but it could easily be number 1. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to give Gold Steps to my number 1 song on the album.
You know what? Like, ask me tomorrow what my top 3 are, and I guarantee you they could be different than what I'm going to tell you right now because of just the close nature of all these songs. Like, it's so close between all of them, just like you said. But I'm gonna go for today. Number 3, The Beach is for Lovers, Not Lonely Losers. Number 2, December. And number 1, this is probably a little bit different direction, but I love this song with Serpents. I love that song so much. So that's my number 1.
I got the impression that was going to make your list.
But Rock Bottom was so close to that number 3 spot. It was either that. I went The Beach because it just has this nostalgic feel to me. But Rock Bottom was so good too. And like we said, Lime Street, take your pick, right? Kalima. I get Gold Sips. They could have made it, but just based on what I was feeling after these listens, that's what I went with. So that's our ranking it.
Overall, really, really good album. So all of you out there who voted for it, thank you. Thank you. I'm sure that Mayday Parade is also really good, but I am glad that Neck Deep won the vote. I'm glad that Life's Not Out to Get You won the vote. Thank you guys out there for picking this and for pushing us to do it. And I think that I'm going to want to listen to more Neck Deep. We tend to get stuck listening to things in preparation for our show, but I would love to kind of deep dive their career and all these albums. They're self-titled, which just came out in 2024, was like the second voted You Should Do This. So maybe that'll be the next one I listen to because people, I guess, like it. But I would like to hear more Neck Deep, and I will. I just saw that I just missed them. They just did a U.S. tour in, I think, February. So I missed them in Philadelphia, but I would certainly consider seeing them if they come back to town because this was a really good album, and I'm sure the rest of their shit is probably good too.
Absolutely, and I think that you're right. They would put on an amazing show. We already saw them live once on video, but to see them live in person would be a different story altogether.
And at that show, they were voted Best Live Band for that year. That's the award they won. They mentioned that on stage.
Oh, really? Okay. So I think it kind of isn't a surprise to me, though. I feel like that's what they would be. And these songs, especially on this album, play into that 1,000%. So, yeah, and me too. I look forward to really deep diving into their catalog a little bit more. I will find time, ladies and gentlemen, to do that. So maybe in the future on High School Never Ends, the show, we will talk about Neck Deep once again. You never know, but I can tell you this. This is what I can promise you, that I will become a lot closer to this band in the days and the weeks to come. So that's where I'm at, Steve. Anything else on Neck Deep or Life's Not Out to Get You before we wrap up for the day?
I think we got it. We're good. That was fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, this was fun, and thank you everybody out there for listening to our inaugural episode of You Pick 'em June, which was of Life's Not Out to Get You by the band Neck Deep. Who knows what the future will bring? I think maybe you guys do because you voted on it. I don't want to spoil it unless Steve does. He seems to be the spoiler on the show, but again, maybe he'll get to that. Well, we appreciate you guys, and thank you for listening. Don't forget to check us out on all of the socials. Let us know what you thought about the show and what you think about High School Never Ends. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, but also don't forget to give us a written review. We want to hear from you, what you think about the show. I'd love to get those written reviews up. So if you give us a 5-star review, please write something too, because we'd love to see it.
Absolutely. And please consider supporting our show, not only with a 5-star review, but you can buy some merch. We have mugs, we have hoodies, we have t-shirts, we have fun dad hats. Go to hsnepod.com. That's like High School Never Ends Pod, and buy some cool stuff. You'll be a cool top dad. We are going to be back next week with an all-new episode. It's another You Pick 'em June, and I won't exactly spoil it, but I will say that this was the one I was most surprised about the outcome for. So we'll find out what that is in about 7 days. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
Hey everyone, Jake Lloyd-Bacon here,
along with Paul Bianchi
and Alexandra Hoy.
Hey, we all host different shows on Dragon Wagon Radio.
We do, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Not at all. We are here to talk about Dungeons and Dragon Wagon,
a narrative podcast series in which we venture into a mythical land for a D&D inspired role-playing game.
Alexandra and I are joined by Matt Hinksman and a very special guest of Quest for each chapter of an epic saga in which we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more as we fight our way through a fantastical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity.
All of which is controlled by me, the Dungeon Master, and the player's chance rolls of the die.
And our show is for everyone. Even if you know nothing about D&D or role-playing games, we've got you covered.
That's right, our game sessions are highly edited, easy to follow, sound designed from top to bottom, and completely immersive.
Yeah, our episodes sound more like a well-produced radio drama than an RPG show.
So what are you waiting for? Join the adventure on Dungeons and Dragon Wagon at dndwpod.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.